I Am a new song. For he has done marvelous things. His right hand, his holy arm have gotten him the victory. The I Am hath made known his salvation. His righteousness hath openly showed in the sight of the heathen. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. And all the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Make a joyful noise unto the I Am, all the earth, and make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Sing unto the I Am with harp, and with the harp and the voice of a song, with trumpets and sound of cornet, and make a joyful noise before the I Am the King. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof, and the world and they that dwell therein. Let the floods clap their hands, and let the hills be joyful together before the I Am, for he cometh to judge the earth. With righteousness shall he judge the world, and people with equity. Psalms chapter 98. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and all praises to the Most High. Glory be to his name. Glory, he's all worthy of the praise that we should offer unto him, even sacrifices of praise. If you have a sacrifice of an animal or a sacrifice that is prescribed in the Levitical order, yes, he is worthy of it all. For he is our creator. He is our God, our power. Whatever you would have him to be, he says, I am that I am. He's the provider. He's one that gives you all your sustenance and all the things that you require in this human existence. Oh, we give praise to him. Yes. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. And we give God the glory. Yes, we do. Yes. Have you ever thought about it? It says that if God, there's only one God, right? Okay. We know that there's only one God. There's no other beside him. So all others are irrelevant, right? According to that. And if we believe that, we would say our existence. If we were given the opportunity to be as the angels, not having want of food, not having want of clothing, not having want of shelter, not having want of sex, not having want to be cuddled by anyone. See, this is where our domain goes. This is where we are tested. This is where the flesh is. But the spirits of the Most High having no want. What want should they have? Oh, glory to the Most High. Oh, glory to the Most High. Only to praise and glorify him who have made them. To desire his attention, to desire him to use them, to desire him to cause them to be his favorite. But when flesh and other desires are put before us and we see that they are good for us, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We will think that, oh, I would be even better or like God if I had this woman, if I had these riches, if. And to find out it only brings you to lower you and your. Some people can handle riches. Some people can. Most can't. As far as in light of having their faith toward God and doing those things which are required of God, such as Job, very rich man. But Job has a history we do not know of. Yes, Job has a history. This is why he was so repentant before the Most High. If you read the book of Jasher, you'll find out the history of Job and how that he was instrumental even into almost the demise of Moses. This is why I tell people, get the book of Jasher. Why was it cast out of the books? Why is it mentioned through the Bible? Yes, in some places it's mentioned, the phrases are taken from the book of Jasher that are not even, Jasher is not mentioned. See, this is the thing that we have to read these books. Then we go, especially those that were written before the New Testament. And before the law was handed to Moses. These things, it was a clue to the validity of these books or the Testament or whatever. Yes. Now we're in the book of 2 Kings, and we're in chapter 20 as you prepare. Yes, and also we thank God for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, and those of you who have been with us here and there's about, and those of you who have just subscribed. We thank God for you, and those of you who are about to subscribe. We thank God for you, and those of you who are just viewing. Yes, we give God the glory and the praise for that, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, 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 we give God on this beautiful day. Yes, 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 we just had a Sabbath pass, and if you can just work your weeks around the Sabbaths. I'm talking about the lunar Sabbaths. I'm not talking about that other stuff. God shall correct those of you who still celebrate that part, because that is instituted by mankind. It's not instituted by God. God's Sabbaths are different. They are according to the new moon. The new moon is when the moon first appears from behind whatever moon or sun there is, and you can see a peak of a bright light. That is the day of the new moon. And 7 days from that new moon, from that evening to that next evening, 7 days, the seventh day is the Sabbath, which is that evening to evening is the Sabbath. And that's what I'm talking about. Yes. And we're about to come up onto a new month, a new Sabbath month. Yes. Oh, praise God for that. Yes, to be even counted worthy to live, to even say a new Sabbath month or a new lunar month. Yes. So we try to construct our lives around the Sabbath day, preparing for those things that should come. Yes, even the appearing of the Creator. Yes, that Spirit that moved upon the water. Yes. And we thank God for the I am even God. Yes, 2 Kings chapter 20. 2 Kings chapter 20. Hezekiah, he reminded me of some of these kings or some of these presidents you hear about in the news that they're kind of weak. You know, instead of just standing on what God says. Instead of standing on what God says without wavering. Now, this is one. Now, you can take one Abraham Traore. He stands on what he knows and what he believes in his heart that is true. Yes, and God has given him a heart, a strong heart. And those men that support him and women that support him are strong. The whole regime strong. And that they want to see their people prosper. That is the sign of a true king, a true president, a true person that would want to see their nation or their country or their lands, even their states and their cities prosper. In other words, you give me what I only take what I need and only take what you give me. But the fact is that I want to put this thing so you can prosper. Your children will be educated, and when they are educated and grown up, they can have a job or have a business without any messed up stuff. Because the greed of man in some nations is evident that they're just plain selfish and greedy and murderous. But nevertheless, what I mean that is to a great extent. Now, we have many murderous nations. Yes, we do. But this to a certain extent, where it says, who sees us? We are all together. We don't have anybody to judge us. We are the power. We are the gods now. Yes, this is what they say. And anything darker or anything they deem lesser, they will either ridicule, put in derision, or delete. Now in verse 20, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah, remember this is the time of Isaiah. Remember Isaiah was in the time of the king Hezekiah. the son of Amos. Now we know Isaiah was the son of Amos. Now he also has a special prophecy coming, which many don't see Isaiah 53 as, what are you talking about? Was this inserted? Was it infused? How did they do it? Like much of the Bible that don't make no sense, or don't jive with the law, or don't jive with what God says about himself. Some prophecies, even in the Old Testament, have been tampered. And it's easy to spot if you're willing and if you understand. If you in any language, there are 5 parts of speech, regardless of how you do it. Every language has 5 parts of speech. And also there is the who, what, when, why, and sometimes what? Who, what, when, where, and sometimes how, or whatever you want to call it. Yes. All languages. No language is that is just the law of language. You have to have a subject. You have to have a noun and a predicate. All these things are in every language. They might be written in a certain way, but they're there. And, you know, these things you have to really pay attention to. Now, he was sick unto death because God said he was going to die. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus saith the I am, set thine house in order. Some of you don't even know if God even talked to your loved ones, who your mother, your father, your sister. If an angel came and said, it's time for you to die. You don't know what they have done. You don't know how they have been visited by the Most High to tell them, get your house in order. Some don't, some do. You don't know. And then he says, Thus said the I am, set thy house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Verse 2. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the I am, saying, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. Perfect heart. We take the word perfect as though it's trash. Perfect means complete. It means without wavering. It means perfect can mean made complete. I mean, a woman makes a man perfect. A man makes a woman perfect. They're complete in each other. So you have to watch the word play in the English language. You have to watch that word play. Yes, you can be complete. You can be perfect in the I am. Yes, you can obey all his statutes, ordinances, and laws. But some laws prohibit you from doing these things. Now, and then some people will prohibit you from doing these things, into the point of your imprisonment. Yes. Now, and he turned his face to the wall and prayed to the I am, said, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth with a perfect heart, and I have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. I mean, this guy was like tearful, like boo-hoo, like child weeping. Some of these children, they're weeping. You think they're serious, and they look up, and as soon as you give them their way, they say, okay, thank you, and keep going. But no, God saw his heart. It wasn't the tears. Anybody can cry. Anybody, the heart is deceitful. Our minds can deceive us. We know what we've done wrong. We're just crying because we got caught. And then we're trying to make amends, but yet we know in our heart we will never change from our ways of extortion, thievery, adultery, lying, fornication, however you would put it. All of it falls under adultery. And we will get into that as we delve into the law. And this book of the law, according to Joshua 1:8, says, it shall not depart from your heart or your mouth. No, it shall not. And he says, this is what we have to be versed in, the law. We have to know the law. I mean, many times many Christians do not know the law. All they know is what the preacher tells them. Many of us, we have been given a slumbering. The slumbering not to seek God, not to seek it to understand God. He said that you know and understand me. Didn't he say that? Many of us, we just depend on what somebody else says. And they might be saying it according to their own prosperity. And not yours. And he turned, and And it came to pass, Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, and the word of the I am came to him, saying, in other words, he heard in his mind, he heard in his heart, the spirit of my mind has told me. Isn't that what they would say? Huh? Come on here. What a joke. But anyway, he says in verse 5, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus saith the I am, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears, behold, I will hear thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of the I am. And I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. Now, to understand that, you'd have to go back to 1 Kings or even 1 Samuel to find out what did God promise David. But then we have to find, we're going to see that God got to the point where these people were so wicked, just as the people today, just as Israel is today, that God he repented of what he had promised David, really, as the English would put it, or he decides, I can't do this. Your people are so wicked. They're so easily swayed by evil spirits. They do not even know the prayer of their father Abram. No, they don't. You have people, you look on different social media apps and you find out that people are hostile against God. They hate God. For what reason, we don't know. They will go to any other major religion, any other Christianity, anything except for coming to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They will go that way and say they have peace and live in that strong delusion. The only peace is the law. Even the psalmist sung about that. The law of the Lord is pure, making wise the simple. Remember? They knew what the law would do to a life. The law is the way, the truth, and the life. It's not Jesus, it's the law. It is the way, the truth, and the life which God has chosen for you, Israel. The rest of you, you can take it with a grain of salt or however you want to do it. It doesn't matter. Israel is basically who I'm talking to. The children of Jacob. Israel, or the children of Jacob, is not a land. Let them heathen, they're gonna take it. God will get it back. They really are foolish people. God's gonna get his land back. He just let them run over it to teach us a lesson, and we have to learn that lesson. But the fact is, God is gonna get it back, period. Yes, he's gonna get it back. Let us continue. Because, like I said, Jacob is not a land. Jacob is its people, present tense. Israel is his people, not a land. A land don't make you holy. God makes you holy through what? You obeying his commandments, statutes, and ordinances. This is where God sees you as clean, because you will have a clean heart, because those things that you want to do, you want to please God. Just as the angel, as we say, if we didn't have anything and all we had was God, would we be bored? No. You can't think in this present tense. You got to think as God thinks. You have to think as one who is going to be transformed, one who's going to be with God in the end, having no thirst or nothing. Why you want, we just get it wrong. But nevertheless, verse 6, he added to his years 15, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Syria. I do offend this city for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. And Isaiah said, take a lump of figs. Remember, Isaiah's in the time of Hezekiah. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. So the fact is, God used a natural remedy for Isaiah's sickness that was there. Oh, God didn't heal. I ain't heal nobody. The herbs. You're going to read also in the Apocrypha where God even took the smelliness of a fish to get rid of a demon. Do not God know the things that can heal, that can kill and destroy, even those spirits and men that will do such a thing after their own lust? Now, here we go again. And Isaiah said, Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, what shall be the sign that the I am will heal me? And that I shall go up into the house of the I am on the third day. Oh, this is a third day. Or is he Isis? No, he's not. What about that third day? The day that he got healed, the figs was on there and God healed and he recovered. In other words, he was brought to his conscience. He wasn't sickly, but he still probably had the boils. But the fact is, he said now, and Hezekiah said, what shall be the sign that the I am will heal me? He had boils. According to this narrative, he had boils. Okay? And he said, and that I shall go up to the third. Now, in other words, he gave him relief through the figs. Come on, him. And Isaiah said, this sign shall thou have of the I am, that the I am will do the thing that he has spoken, and shall the shadow go forth 10 degrees or back 10 degrees. And Hezekiah answered, this is a light thing for the shadow of the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Nay, no, but let the shadow return backwards 10 degrees. Okay, he said it goes down 10 degrees. Okay, let it turn backwards. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the I am, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. The dial of Ahaz. You know who Ahaz was, right? Okay. Now, at the time of Berodach Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, in other words, these were worshippers of that be-god, I'll call it that way, sent letters and a present. This was a devil. This was actually a fallen spirit before the Most High. Sent letters that was given unto these nations, and they still worship him today. Not only they worship him here, anytime you see the bull, anytime you see anything like that, these are the be-god worshipers. These are people trying to impose the be-god and his teachings upon the people. And most of it includes you find out the false religions deal with the flesh. They deal with the flesh in many ways. Walking through the fire, wanting to fly, and all these things. I mean, think about it. God doesn't deal with the flesh like that. No. That's why it's so important for us to understand and read and learn God, period. We have to learn him. This is why we have the scriptures. It's not perfect, but this is what we have. And if you really want that thing that God has for you, you have to dig through it. Yes, you do. And he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them and showed them all the houses of precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment and all the house of his armor and all that was found in his treasures. And there was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. And then came Isaiah the prophet unto Hezekiah and said unto him, see, God had talked to Isaiah before, because Isaiah is an angel. Oh, how's God is an angel? He's a man. He's an angel. Messenger. English. Watch the word play. Okay? All this secretive, all this stuff that they do is to trip you up so that they might have dominion. These people that translate to the point where now your mind is messed up. This is why you can't believe in God. This is why you sleep while you're awake. You're sleepwalking while awake before the Most High. You cannot see. You've been turned backwards. You do not know because you cannot receive it. God has given you a heart and a mind of slumber. And just because you don't believe God, you have to say, God, if you're so real, wake me up, show me, help me, and stop looking for the things that are obvious. He will help you and he will show you, period. But no one will believe you. Some of you will just go back to where you were because everybody didn't follow you. Doesn't matter. There's going to be a small little stone that's going to come out and destroy all the devils, the spirits, the falling spirits have built up in the hearts of men. Their psychology, all the things, their idolatries of mind, spirit, and flesh, wood, and stone. Yes, going to destroy it all and ground it to powder according to Daniel chapter 7. Now, Behold, the days come that all that is in thy house, and he said to Hezekiah, verse 16, I'm sorry. Oh, let's go back to verse 15. And he said, what have they seen? Isaiah was talking to Hezekiah, the king Hezekiah, and answered, all these things in mine house have they seen, and there is nothing among my treasures I have not showed them. You don't show everybody everything in your house. Half the time, if it's a stranger, he's trying to figure out what's in your house and where it's at so he can tell somebody else. And he has plausible deniability. And therefore, he has nothing to do with it but his friends. They give him a cut for checking out your house if you have anything that is worth having. Yes. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, hear the word of the I am. God already knew this, but now Hezekiah has to hear this. Behold, the days come that all that is in thy house, which thy fathers have laid up in store to this day, shall be carried into Babylon. This is, now listen. Babylon took, just like they took the people, the vessels of the Most High out of Africa. The Romans ran the vessels of the Most High out of, should I say, Israel, the land of Africa. Now they're carried into another part of Africa, which was, according to Pangea, South America. From South America, some were transferred up into North America. Then they made that swirl back around. Yes, he took the vessels of the Most High. This is just one of the sins of Babylon. Men stealers, stealing from a house. In other words, they did a lick. You didn't think I know that, did you, young man? They did a lick. They wanted to steal. Now, and nothing shall be left, saith the I am. Now, this has happened even with the colonizers in parts of Africa and parts of Israel and parts of Egypt and all over the world. They have what? They have taken it and put it in their museums and their homes and traded amongst each other and gave it a price according to their lust and their desires. Yes, they did. He says in verse 17, behold, the day shall come in this house which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day shall be carried into Babylon, and nothing shall be left, saith the I am. And thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou hast beget, they shall take away, and they shall be eunuchs in the place of the king, in the palace of the king of Babylon. Now, did not the colonizer do the same thing? Why? You go back to chapter 19, where God told them they despised him. They didn't care about God. They wanted to please their nothing neighbors. They wanted to please those who have nothing for all the riches and gold that they have. This is what you did. Your ancestors, Jacob. They wanted to please them, show them, oh, I have the power. We are the chosen people. And now the heathen doing the same dumb thing. Doesn't matter. If you do the things which God have commanded you to do, it doesn't matter whether you're chosen or not, because God will be delighting in you. Otherwise, you got a problem. God is not of the flesh. God is a spirit. Yes, that spirit which moved upon the water. Now, let's continue. He says in verse 19, then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, good is the word of the I am which thou hast spoken. And he said, it is not good. Is it not good if peace and truth be in my days? How selfish. See, this is something. How selfish. These puppet leaders and all the leaders, even of some of the nations that are big, have stolen and looted their own people for their own selfish reasoning. Hezekiah did the same thing. Instead of worrying and praying about those who should succeed him and those nations that to come after him, here, Hezekiah, what did he do? It is good. I got my 15 years. I got a little more rest to do. Okay, all right. But these things throughout the years have plagued Israel is idolatry. Trying to please creation, trying to please those who have nothing that they can give back to you. A trinket. Domestic aid, when you got gold, silver, and all manner of good things, and you just don't try to make any endeavor to, should I say, process these things into what is viable. Even if you can't do nothing but just have your own people arrayed with gold and silver and diamonds, wearing it around on their necks, on their hands, and all these other things, paying the price, and then laboring for food and everything just to get these things so they could look good. We know our people love gold, silver, and diamonds. We love to be arrayed with them and looking exotic, don't we? Yes, we do. Now, and the rest of the acts of Hezekiah and all his might and all, he made a pool and a conduit and brought water into the city. Are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of King of Judah, which soon we shall be in? And Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh his son reigned in his stead. Yes, we have to realize that God wants you, Jacob. I'm not concerned about they should come. But Jacob, he wants you. All those in the lands that they try to make themselves look to men as though they're Israelites. They try to make themselves look to men as though they're Egyptians, and all the people that have wrote the book and have showed great, intellectual superiority. But yet you can look at them and the things they do, they're dumb as water. But the fact is that you, Jacob, you have proven yourself throughout history. Your inventions, the traffic light, and all manner of stuff that you have come up with. Is this not God dealing with you? The cities that you built after they put you through so much toil and pains. But yet you still would worship this Isis. Yeah, you went to church. You said, "Oh, praise the Lord." But you worshiped an idol. This is the strong delusion God has sent you, that he might turn you away backward until you become that which would humble himself and say, "God, show me." And when he shows you, it's not pretty. That's what I'm telling you now is not pretty. No, it's not pretty at all. God is the only Savior you have. God is the one that saves you in every situation. The I am, Yahweh, Yahusha. Yes, he's the only one. And you say, well, we're going to see. We waiting for your demise. We waiting for you to die, or lightning to strike you or something. You waiting for that, ain't you? Let me put it this way. It'll get you before it gets me, because you lost it. You still turned away backwards. You still caught in the matrix of this colonization, this backwards teaching. You take your New Testament, you don't need it. It's all in the old. It's all in the laws. It's there. You don't need that New Testament. That New Testament was all made up. Yes, it was. How can I prove it? I'm going to tell you this. Go to Curie-Mayo. Yeah. Go to his website and find out and look up the New Testament. And he shows you, they even tell you, the very people themselves, those who are of that people, tell you how the New Testament was made up. How the 12 disciples, how this Easter. And then the Bible backs it up that it was made up. Because God does not change. God does not have anybody beside him. No, he don't. See, your soul is at stake here. There is no Holy Spirit as denoted by the New Testament. There is no Son. God does not lay with his creation. God does not beget anything. He creates. This you have to get through your head. And you run around looking like a English tapestry with what you call fringes. Fringes is merely, they make fringes every day. This thing that seals off my shirt is a fringe. Now God says take that and put a ribbon of blue, a thread of blue through it. And that denotes you having, look it up, research it. I'm gonna make you nosy. Yes. But anyway, instead of looking like some tapestry running around with strings hanging off the edge of your garment like you crazy, with your Halloween costume on. At least they wore cotton. Oh my gosh, help me. Cotton and wool, they didn't have all that silking fake fabric on. Now, we're in 2 Kings chapter 20, and if we do those things which are pleasing unto the Most High, then we will have peace.
Walk with me.